They still say it. They called us coolies, a word meant to cage, control, and erase. I grew up hearing the word coolie whispered, rarely explained, and often avoided. As a child growing up in Canada, I didn't understand the weight it carried. But as I grew older, I realized that it wasn't just a slur. It was a wound, a story buried under silence. But how did a single word travel so far and come to define so many lives? To understand, we have to trace its journey across oceans and centuries. The word coolie didn't begin as a slur. Its origins, though, are debated. Possibly it came from Hindi or Tamil, or even Portuguese sailors in the 16th century describing native workers in India. But whatever its root, by the 19th century, coolie had become something far more sinister. After slavery was abolished, the colonial world had a crisis. Who would work on the sugar plantations? The answer was a new system, indentured labor, and with it, a new racial category, coolie. They were mostly Indians and Chinese, tricked into signing contracts they couldn't read, shipped across oceans into the unknown. This so-called opportunity quickly revealed itself to be something far more sinister. It was a new system that echoed the horrors of the past. In the Caribbean, Mauritius, Fiji, and Africa, these laborers were treated like disposable bodies. Crammed into ships under filthy conditions, branded, beaten, abused. They were forced to work long hours under the sun, denied proper food and healthcare, and denied of their dignity. It resembles slavery in every way except name. Even US President Abraham Lincoln signed a law in 1862 banning the coolie trade, calling it a form of unfreedom. But this wasn't just physical brutality, it was also linguistic violence. The word coolie became shorthand for less than human. Dirty, backward, servile. And just as language was used to degrade and divide, the word coolie took on a role chillingly similar to another infamous slur. It's impossible to talk about this without drawing a parallel. Just like the N-word was used to dehumanize African people, coolie was used to erase the humanity of Indians and Chinese laborers. And just like the N-word, it didn't stop after emancipation. It lived on, in schools, in laws, and in jokes. It lived on in how our ancestors were seen, and in how they saw themselves. There's one key difference though. While the N-word today is largely recognized as unacceptable in most public discourse, coolie lives on in this strange gray zone. For some, the pain was even deeper. In the Caribbean, for our Hindu communities, the word became a weapon against both their body and their spirit. For Hindus in the Caribbean, the impact of the coolie label was especially brutal. We weren't just poor, we were foreign, we were heathen, we were the other. Our marriages weren't recognized. Our deities were mocked. We were pushed to convert, to change our names, to forget our native languages. But despite that, in that darkness, we chanted our mantras, we lit our diyas, we sang our bhajans in our Bhojpuri, and we remembered who we were. Yet even as our ancestors resisted, the scars of that label didn't simply fade. The shame it carried still lingers in our communities today. I'll be very honest with you. Today, in our Indo-Caribbean communities, the use of the word coolie still cuts. It's used to insult, to demean, even within our own circles. This shame, it runs deep, and some of us, we try to distance ourselves from this word. We are not coolies, we say. We're professionals, we're educated, we're civilized. But that shame, that's the colonialism speaking through us. But out of that shame, a new movement has emerged. A movement to reclaim, redefine, and even celebrate the word coolie. There are some who are reclaiming this word. Just like the N-word was reappropriated in Black communities to mean solidarity or resistance, we're saying yes, we are the descendants of coolies. And you know what? We're still here. It's a movement called coolitude, a term coined by Mauritian scholar Kal Toraboli. It's a philosophy. It's a celebration of survival. It's an identity forged in the fire of exile. I'll be very honest with you. I never heard of this coolitude movement until I started researching for this video. But I know for most of us, we came to this on our own. We didn't just suffer. We adapted. We resisted. We created something new. But still, we must remember, words shape our worlds. The story of Coolie is a warning and a lesson about the power language holds over us. The truth is, no word carries more history than the ones used to hurt us. They are never just words. They are prisons. But they can also become keys. The word coolie was once a whip. Today for some it's a badge. For others, it's still a scar. And there's no easy answer. And so as I stand here today, I ask myself, and you, what does it mean to carry this word? What does it mean to remember and to move forward? So am I a coolie? I am the descendant of one. And that means I carry both the burden and the blessing of that existence. The burden is that of a brutal history, but the blessing is that of survival. A legacy that lives on from my grandparents to my parents, and now I'm passing that on to my kids. You don't have to reclaim the word if you're not ready, but you deserve to know where it came from and the power it still holds. Let no one use it against us again. Thank you once again for watching. If you have learned something from my video, please share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Om Shanti.